Chapter 15. Joseph. I caress the bouquet of flowers in my quivering hands. The bouquet weighs more the closer I get to her. I keep my head down, not knowing what to say or where to begin. A cool breeze rustles the branches of the naked trees around me, and I wish there were more noises filling the silence. Anything to keep me from the guilt banging on the back door of my conscience. After all these years, my wife hasn't moved, despite the highs, lows, and everything in between. Even though I never took a second to visit her, she still never left. She's the greatest wife I could have ever asked for. "I brought you flowers," I mutter without looking in her direction. I know you're probably upset with me, for cutting you out of the picture after the accident." The bouquet shakes in my hands, my breath becoming less stable. I'm starting to think it was too soon to come here. In reality, it's probably too late. How could I go about my daily life avoiding my first love? How could I act as though the mother of my child isn't worth a second of my time? I'll tell you how. I ran from reality. I distracted myself with other people's problems. I made up make-believe stories. I picked up stupid little magic tricks. I helped others so that I would be too busy to help myself. I inhale, blinking toward the sky to keep from crying. It's now dusk, the sky painted in hues of orange and pink, gently embracing the fading sun just over the horizon. Faint stars twinkle a few light years away. Eventually, I can't hold my breath any longer. My eyes land on the tombstone that reads, "Elizabeth VERITA, loving mother and wife." I haven't been ignoring you. I lower the flowers to my side. I've been busy. I guess I've been trying to be busy. I'm rambling. I want to apologize, but I've already apologized. For years, I've apologized through my actions. From adopting responsibility for the people around me to cutting out my vices. My way of life is a result of how fucking sorry I am for that night. The cold, hard truth is that an apology won't bring Elizabeth back. An apology won't rewrite the part of the story where I lost the love of my life and ruined my son's life on a single car ride home. So I won't apologize. Instead, I'll try to make her proud. "I'm becoming the man you always wanted me to be," I state, gripping the bouquet tighter. "You used to tell me I was too hard on myself, that one day I would change the world. I didn't believe you then, but Elizabeth, if..." My voice cuts out. I clear my throat, pushing through my own disbelief. "If you could see me now, I think you'd be so damn proud. The people, they see me as this symbol of hope, which is something I've lacked for so long. Since I lost you, there was this shadow that covered my world. But since I started this movement, there's this light. I catch glimpses of it, like when Stevie looks at me. I see it when people acknowledge me on the streets. I read it in their comments and messages, and I'm starting to see it in my own reflection." I let out a laugh, tears now trickling down my cheeks. "I made a friend. That's right. I became friends with the guy renting our guest house. Get this. My first impression of the guy was him holding me at gunpoint at a gas station." I chuckle. "His name's Nicky. I like to think that you sent him to be my friend because the way we met is something you would have found funny. Anyway, Nicky's gonna be a dad and he's real nervous about it, the same way I was before we had Stevie. It's a shame the way he clings to his past and all the mistakes he made. I try to get him out of that headspace, but you know how it goes. There's never a perfect time to have a kid, but that's the beauty of it. Nicky will realize that. I'll make sure of it." My smile flattens. Stevie's had it pretty rough at school since the accident. I mean, he's had his ups and downs. I can't begin to tell you how difficult it is for me to watch him struggle without being able to do anything about it. You would know how to handle it, though. You always knew how to handle tough situations. I tap the bouquet against my thigh, sifting through my thoughts. "I tell him stories, Elizabeth. I make them up as I go every night, and he loves it. Well, he loves it now, but I'm sure he'll grow out of it. I still bring him Kit Kats. You'd be upset to know that I let him eat them before bed." My eyes drop to the bouquet. The colors remind me of the dress Ava wore the night we went out to dinner, and it suddenly dawns on me why I came to see Elizabeth after all this time. It's not to catch up, and it's not to make her proud. Before the words even leave my lips, the trickling of tears becomes a flood. I met somebody," I somehow managed to say. "I never planned this, Everything from the car accident to hiring Ava to having these feelings for her. A part of me is dying, knowing that I have feelings for a woman that isn't you. But that woman is also giving me life. It was always you, Elizabeth, and I will spend the rest of my life knowing that I let death take you from me. But I didn't have a choice. Just know, if you're up there somewhere, if you're listening, I will always love you, even while I love somebody else. I take a knee and set the bouquet at the base of the tombstone. As I rise to my feet, my fingers trace a path over the weathered stone slab, its surface cool against my rugged hands. This could be the most difficult conversation I've ever had, but it's necessary. It took me years to get to the point where I could speak the way I've just spoken, and now I know that it's not by my power alone that I was able to. The power belongs to whatever has been working in me since the movement began, and I thank God for it. When I get to my car, I notice a blue light illuminating the steering wheel. My phone is lying face up on the seat, the screen flooded with missed calls and texts. I quickly open the door to see 6 missed calls from Kit. I call him back, and within seconds, his panicked tone fills my ear. "Joseph, where the fuck have you been? I'm trying to get a hold of you, man. You gotta do something. You gotta stop him before—" "Kit!" I shout into the phone. "Calm down. What's going on?" "It's Nikki. They got him." "Got him? Who's got him?" "Greater Good. Nikki's on the show right now." Kit wheezes. "He's the 3rd contestant." I've never driven this fast. My hands grip the steering wheel, my knuckles white against the leather. I swerve through traffic from left to right to left again. Each twist and turn is a pulse of urgency. Every screech and honk a desperate plea for God to bend time and space in my favor. The road stretches out like a tapestry of possibilities, each intersection a crossroad of fate I need to conquer. Remnants of my phone call with Kit linger in my mind, forcing me to fight the world from blurring before my very own eyes. How did Nikki get on Greater Good? Why did Nikki get on Greater Good? Before our conversation ended, I gathered from Kit that the show was being broadcast from Madison Square Garden. There's still time to make it, to save my only friend from making a grave mistake. I imagine how frightened Tanya must be, her palm firm against the curve of her belly where Nikki's child rests. With one hand on the wheel, I call Ava with the other. "Joseph," she answers, as if waiting by the phone. "Ava, Nikki is—" "I know. Kit came here looking for you. He's here with Stevie." My eyes widen. "You have to turn off the TV. Don't let them watch a second of this." "It's unplugged," she assures me. "What are you gonna do?" "I don't know yet. I'm headed to the arena now." "Be careful, Joseph," Ava warns. "Mendax could be setting you up because they know how close you and Nikki are." "I'll deal with the consequences when the time comes. Is Tanya there?" "She's not in the guest house and isn't picking up her phone. How did Nikki even manage to get on the show?" "I don't know. Out of all the people who apply, too." I pick up speed, seizing gaps between moving cars with the arena now in my sights. To my demise, I'm forced to stop at a red light. My gaze lands on the steering wheel, and my mind jumps to the last time I was in this car with Nikki. It was the day we drove to Stevie's school. The same day Nora gave me the golden guest pass. My heart plummets in my chest when I realize exactly how Nikki managed to get on the show. I remember him subtly slipping the pass into his pocket after he took it from me. I didn't think much of it then. I didn't think about it at all. Did Nikki take the pass to save me or because he wanted it for himself? We won his case. He has a kid on the way. How could I have missed any indication that my only friend would be willing to end his own life? When the light turns green, I floor it. "I need to go. I'm pulling up to the arena." "Be careful," Ava warns. "I will." Upon parking, I throw the car door open and sprint toward the shimmering stadium. I'm a whole block away and it still towers so high it scrapes the heavens. My shoes pound against the pavement. The distant roar of the crowd reverberates through the air like a battle cry, propelling me forward with a surge of determination. My breaths come in ragged bursts, my lungs burning as I weave through a crowd gathered outside the arena. The closer I get, the thicker the crowd appears to be. My weaving between bodies turns into shoves. Every step now comes with a deliberate push, the whispers and scoffs creating a whirlwind around me. I keep my eyes on the entrance doors that are barricaded by a wall of security guards. The next obstacle I intend to face head on. I shove somebody aside and they drop their phone. As it lands on the ground, I read Nikki's name written out on the screen, listed among 2 other names. They're voting. "No! Stop!" I shout. "Stop voting! Don't vote!" I do a full spin, my eyes panning around the various faces illuminated by the eerie glow of their phone screens. The air is heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the soft tapping of fingertips on screens. The crowd remains captivated by the fate of 3 contestants in their palms. One by one, their faces look up at the stadium wall. An orange hue casts itself over their vacant gazes. I look up over my shoulder, my jaw dropping at the sight of a colossal LED screen depicting Nora. She flashes a chilling smile, her eyes locked on me as she says, "And the votes are in." No, God, please no. I stand still, the bottoms of my feet becoming one with the earth. The single screen is divided into 3, each third showing a live stream of the contestants in their plush orange chairs. Unable to look away, I take one step toward the screen, then another. The yellow numbers and orange bars appear next to each contestant, prepared to display the number of votes each contestant received. My legs shake as I continue toward the screen, fixated on the rising bars. The numbers rapidly increase, the bars rising roughly around the same height. I begin to sweat as Nikki takes the lead. Contestant number 2 takes the lead next. Nikki again, contestant number 2 again. My heart beats so vigorously I can hear it in my head. It nearly stops when Nikki takes the lead, this time by a long shot. The height of his bar grows taller with every passing second. The rising numbers begin to slow down. Nikki's bar now nearly twice the height of the other contestants' bars. The camera cuts to Nora standing behind Nikki's chair. Her pale hands envelope his shoulders. Though he's significantly larger, her presence on screen overpowers him. "And it looks like we have our winner," she announces with a cunning grin. "Let's hear it for contestant number 3, Nikki Williams." The screen cuts to a close-up shot of Nikki as he stands. As he's escorted to a second platform, it's evident that his eyes are filled with sorrow and regret. He looks down at the wooden chair that rises from below the stage. A spotlight highlights the freshly glossed seat, metal cuffs drilled into each armrest. While crew members cuff Nikki's wrists to the armrests, Nora looks into the camera saying, "Now, Nikki will commit an act out of sheer bravery, courage, and generosity. I've just been informed that the voter donation amount we've received tonight is the most we've ever received in a single episode." The sea of people cheer behind me, the sound crashing against me like a tsunami. Nora raises her hands. "And now, Nikki will die for the greater good of his soon-to-be newborn." A line shows between Nikki's brows, his jaw clenched as his platform is lifted into the air. A close-up camera angle picks up the sweat dripping down the side of his face, the droplets becoming one with his own tears. He closes his eyes, grinding his teeth as he wrestles with regret. The platform stops rising halfway between the stage and the top of the arena. A gentle mist is sprayed from above the chair Nikki's cuffed to, a thin layer coating his head, neck, and arms. "Why are they spraying him with water?" someone near me asks. The wooden chair under Nikki suddenly catches fire. "That ain't water they're spraying," someone else answers. "That's gasoline." The crowd around me cheers, hollering for the fire to catch Nikki. As if on command, the fire consumes Nikki's entire lower body. My eyes drop to the wall of security standing in front of me. Every muscle in my body tenses, coiled with the energy of a raging storm ready to be unleashed on this vile world. I scream at the top of my lungs, throwing my full weight into the nearest security guard. I fling my arms in every direction, my fists making contact with faces I can't even see. I need to get inside of the venue. I need to ruin Nora for ruining the minds of these people, for ruining Nikki's life. I'm focused on wrath and intend to wage war on Mendax and everyone behind this morbid monstrosity. I receive a blow to the head, and it sends me into a second guard. Before I can retaliate, I notice a man charge the guard next to us. The guard holding me lets go to help the other, and I fall to the ground. The crowd behind me remains fixated on the screen above us, the fire consuming Nikki reflected in their darkened eyes. Within seconds, a third guard beats me with a baton. My right eye begins to swell, but I'm able to see that among the brainwashed viewers, people sprint from the crowd, emerging like lions from the embrace of the wilderness. My eyes continue to swell shut, my head now throbbing. I watch as the people rush toward me with violence written across their faces, and I prepare for my final moments, trampled by a mob I only sought to help. I let out what may be my final breath, unable to stand to my feet. The first wave of people gets closer and closer until they're gone. They continue right past me, colliding with the guards who were beating me. One after another, these people emerge from the crowd of viewers to charge at the arena doors. I lie the back of my head against the pavement, looking at the black sky above. A face appears, then another, and another. "Is he alright?" one of them asks the other. "Doesn't matter," the other replies. "Get him to safety." I'm pulled up by my coat lapels. A man and a woman wrap their shoulders with each of my arms. People continue appearing from the crowd, fending off security guards as I'm escorted back through the sea of people. Another way, I say. The crowd is too dangerous. As long as that screen is on, these people aren't going to look away, the woman on my left replies. See for yourself. I stumble forward with the help of the two strangers. As we split the crowd, my eyes pan around to see the people fixated on the screen that's now behind us. They smile, they clap, they cheer. They watch my friend burn before their very own eyes, and they can't look away. Who are you? I ask the strangers helping me. We're a part of your movement, the man on my right states, facing forward. Biscuit posted about you coming here to save Nikki. He said you might need our help. We got here as quick as we could. We make it out of the crowd, the screaming and cheering now a distant hum. The throbbing in my head lessens as I'm escorted into the back of an SUV. Take him home, the woman says to the driver. She shuts my door, pats it twice, then turns back toward the crowd. What address? The driver asks. No, they can follow us. They can't know where I live, I reply. I think through the safest places I could be on a night like this. Now bruised from head to toe, processing the tragic and televised death of my only friend, plus having a target on my back, I find myself at the mercy of the force far greater than myself, greater than death. I've gotten myself wrapped up in a spiritual war, and at this point, there's no better place to be than the one place that's had its doors open to me since the very beginning. Take me to the church, I say. The one off Fordham Road and 3rd Ave, the Bronx.